And thank you for joining me. I am Hawkeye from Maple Leafs Man Advantage, and this is the third part of the 1978 NHL playoffs involving right now the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're playing the New York Islanders, and I've gone through games 1 through 3 through part 2 of this series. So now I'm going to take off from game 4 of this series, and yes, when getting to Game 4, still at Maple Leaf Gardens, the Leafs continue to show good, low-scoring defense. And as Stan Weir scored the game winner, added an assist as well. Paul Matier made 31 saves, and the Leafs tied the series up with a 3-1 win. So we're all knotted up at 2 games apiece here, and we're returning to Long Island to battle in Game 5. Now, for the Leafs in Game 4, this is gigantic. Borje Salming got hurt, and I was able to watch a broadcast of this game, Game 5, Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. And as Dave Hodge, the host, tells us in the pregame, Salming suffered a bleeding eye and shattered sinus bone on a play with Lauren Henning of the New York Islanders. Now, major injury and an enormous loss for the Leafs on the back end. He's their number one defenseman. The Leafs, though, do not think it was on purpose, I'm sure, as Henning was a pretty clean player. When looking at his career, he had only 102 penalty minutes in 543 career NHL games. So I don't think Maloney or Williams are going to go out there and roll at his head for the Leafs. So, as you guessed it, the broadcasters on the CBC, we got Bill Hewitt and Brian McFarland doing the color as well. McFarland talked with Billy Smith before the game. Smith says the Islanders need to play even chippier against the Leafs here. Hodge then talks to Bill Clement, and Clement is expecting a rough game here between the two of these teams. In net for the Islanders, it's Chico Resch, and for the Leafs, it's Mike Palmateer as well. So right before the game, I noticed the crowd is nice and loud here in Long Island. Great rambunctious crowd as the anthems are played on an organ and the fans sing. Excellent. Brian Trottier says his line needs to get going as Trottier has 2 points through 4 games. Good job by the Leafs here in holding him back. Randy Carlyle is in the lineup here for the injured Salming. Clark Gillies, and when the game starts here in the first period, Clark Gillies behind the Leaf net, he drills Leafs defenseman Mike Pelech. In turn, he gets a charging penalty for that, but the Isles kill their second man disadvantage. They had a penalty earlier in the game as well. Great chance for the Islanders, though, as Dennis Potvin fires one at the net, and it's nearly tipped in. Mike Palmateer kicked out a pad, and the puck was directed into the corner. Trevor Johansson then picked up a hooking call on the Leafs side to kill their first penalty of the night. The Islanders set up camp in the Leafs zone and get some great chances here, but Palmateer was able to prevent the Islanders from scoring. Gary Howitt then throws a heavy hit on Landon McDonald and grabs a charging call. The Islanders killed off their third penalty of the period. The Leafs were moving the puck around, but the Isles had the front of the net closed off. Right at the end of the power play, Daryl Sittler brought the puck into the Islanders zone and was hit very hard by Potvin. Man, I wish the Leafs had their mitts on that guy. Man, great defenseman. Great all-around defenseman there. Right near the end of the first, Ronnie Ellis was all alone coming in on Resch. He fired it up high and wide. First period ends with no score. In the first intermission, we're brought showdown 78, where the Leafs' Borje Salming faces the Montreal Canadiens' Guy Lapointe. Brian McFarland is joined by Larry Robinson, who, of course, is siding with his teammate Lapointe. Both McFarland and Howie Maker commentate the proceedings. The first competition was the two of them skating backwards to the blue line, where they pick up a puck and skate forwards, towards the net, going around pylons. Unlike his second stride, Lapointe blows a tire and falls to the ice, giving Salming 5 points for that competition. The second competition is a shooting competition now. Salming gets 1 for 6 in hitting the targets in the net. Lapointe goes second and shows off a great shot. He goes 3 for 6 and grabs 5 points for himself, tying this back up. The third event, they face off against Philadelphia Flyer goalie Wayne Stevenson. They grab a puck at the blue line, come in on Stevenson, and go back to the blue line to grab the next one. Once again, it sounded like Howie Meeker was in seventh heaven here doing this. Salming grabbed 3 goals out of the 5 pucks. Lapointe goes second, but he only gets 2 out of the 5. Salming wins the defenseman finals and also gets a cool $7,500. Now, remember, this was 1978, so this was actually over $37,000 today. So there you have it. In this, we'll get back into play here in the second. The Leafs got on the board now as Sittler chipped the puck at the net where Ian Turnbull stood and popped it in the net, giving Toronto a 1-0 lead. Later, Sittler got away with one when he yanked Dave Lewis to the ice. The Islanders, though, got on the score sheet after Mike Bossy shot one to the net, but Brian Glennie blocked the puck. Dennis Potvin picked up the sliding rebound and absolutely drove one home to the top of the net, tying the game at 1. The crowd explodes and welcomes the tie. Bobby Nystrom then hits Palmateer behind the net. Here we go again. Hitting goalies. Shouldn't be going on. Nystrom picks up an interference call, and the crowd got quite angry in disagreement over the call. The Islanders were able to kill off the penalty, though. Nearing the end of the second, Potvin got an open avenue to the net and blasted the puck to the Leafs net. It went off Palmateer's chest and bounced out. Palmateer swung his goal stick and batted it into the crowd behind himself. Whew, period ends. We got a 1-1 tie in New York. In the second mission, they had a clip on Tiger Williams now. We get to meet his family with his beautiful wife and his 2 children, including a son named Clancy, who is named after King Clancy. He likes to hunt and fish in the off-season as well, Tiger does. Then we see Scotty Morrison, who is the referee-in-chief, also talks to McFarland. Scotty was very happy with the reffing going on in the series so far. In the third period, after more extremely well-balanced hockey between the two clubs, loaded with some great play, Potvin picks up a penalty for high sticking on George Ferguson. While Toronto was on the power play, Tiger Williams picks up not 1, but 2 penalties. Oh dear. One for tripping Jerry Hart and the other for slashing Henning. Maybe he is going after Henning. Since Williams grabbed 2 penalties, it just extends their power play to just under 3.5 minutes. Personally, and looking at the series, the Islanders' power play has not looked very good in scoring so far. Ben Palmateer's in the net and continues to save the Leafs' skin, if you will, when they're down a man. The Islanders are getting golden opportunities in front of the net, including one for a wide-open Mike Bossy, not a guy you want to leave wide open, but he was all the time. But Palmateer just slams the door shut. The Leafs kill off the 2 penalties, and Williams should kiss Palmateer's mask for helping keep the tie alive. The period ends and the 2 teams are tied at 1. Off to overtime we go again in the second for the second time in this series. And there we go. In the next intermission, they had a clip on big overtimes of the past in the NHL, including the group that was the 1951 Stanley Cup final that saw Bill Barilko score the Cup winner. Brian McFarland then talked to Boston Bruins assistant general manager Tom Johnson, who's wearing this crazy looking bow tie. It is 1978 after all. They talked about the Leafs-Islanders game and who the Bruins would match up to play in the next round. In overtime, Wayne Merrick had a great chance as he came in on the Leafs net alone, but his shot went up and over the net, chipping off Lanny McDonald's stick. The Leafs had their own magnificent chance as Williams got the puck in the slot on a pass from Sittler. I believe it was Stefan Persson who came in and chipped the puck away as the puck slid to the right of Resch, where McDonald stood alone and was unable to pop the puck into the net, unfortunately. Merrick passed the puck out to Billy Harris in front of the net, but Palmateer was able to stop the puck from crossing the goal line. We're getting lots of chances here. Bobby Nystrom, he did it. He scores on a beauty goal as he shoves the puck through Glennie's legs as he goes down, grabs the puck back after going around the sliding defenseman, and then fires a real nice shot past Palmateer, giving the Islanders a 2-1 win and series lead 3-2. They're just 1-1 away from taking the series, but we're going to head back to Maple Leaf Gardens here. After the game, Hodge talks with Nystrom about the winning goal, who thinks this series is going to go right down to the end. How right he is. So, Game 6, Maple Leaf Gardens, saw the broadcast. This time it was on Leafs TV with Brian McFarland was the host this time, who's joined with former Leaf Jack Valaket. The Islanders are up in the series 3-2, so Toronto needs to win this puppy or the playoffs are over in the quarterfinal here. Before the game starts, McFarland and Valaket converse, and Valaket said Roger Nielsen was in fact the best teacher of hockey he ever played for. Those are glowing regards, I think. According to McFarland, the fans in the Gardens were shouting and screaming for the Leafs 10 minutes before they hit the ice. Very cool. Very cool. And doing the game, once again, it'll be Bill Hewitt and Brian McFarland doing the color. In that, you got the same guys. Chico Resch for the Islanders, Mike Palmateer for the Leafs. When the game starts, the Leafs appear to be ready for the game as they are hard on the Islanders players and the puck controlling the play as well, the Leafs. Not a good sign for the Islanders as Brian Trottier feels woozy on the bench with his helmet off, being looked at by staff. Might have got his bell rung here. Good indicator to me. The Leafs pop in an early goal as Daryl Sittler fires one in on Resch, who let out a little rebound that Sittler is on and puts the loose puck in the net. Trottier then picks up a high sticking penalty, and right off the draw, Valaket gets in all alone to the right of the net, and Lanny McDonald sees this, passes the puck over to him, and Jack puts in his first of the playoffs right here into the net. 2-0 Leafs. Under 5 minutes in, Leafs are up 2-0. Excellent start here. I'm glad to hear the crowd getting into the game, as earlier in the playoffs, as I said, they seem to be dead. Not now. They're getting alive here. Jerry Hart picks up a kneeing penalty that puts the Leafs back on the power play, looking to go up by 3 here. Lanny McDonald controls the puck after Dave Lewis tries to take him out in the corner. Lanny brings the puck around the net, gives it to Valaket, and skates to open area where Valaket passes the puck back to him, and he fires Toronto's third goal in the game past Resch. The Leafs are looking... They're flying tonight, the Leafs are. They're looking really good. Get this series back tied up and go to Long Island. See what happens here. The Leafs keep it coming as Ian Turnbull fires a shot off the draw and Stan Weir tips it and in between Chico's legs. And, well, then the Islanders do it. They swap goalies. And, hey, Rush may not have been hot. The Leafs are very much a better club tonight. It's not all on the Islanders goalie, I'll say that. Billy Smith skates into the net to play against the Leafs and see if the Islanders can right this ship or not. And Smith does look good on a couple shots taken by Sittler and close, but the period ends and the Leafs are up 4-0. McFarland then talks with Valakat, who says Turnbull was playing the best hockey of his career right here in this series, with star D-man Boris Salming out, and Turnbull playing against Dennis Potvin, who he played junior with. There you go. These two guys are going against each other. In the second, the Islanders are doing a better job of dealing with the Leafs, but a few minutes in, this time as Pat Boutette gets himself a breakaway and is able to beat Smith to give the Leafs a 5-0 lead. I'm really enjoying how they're not relying on just Sittler and McDonald to carry this team on their backs. They have a very balanced offensive attack going on here. It's great. We also see Johnny Wayne from Wayne and Schuster in the crowd enjoying the way the Leafs are playing tonight. After the Leafs kill off a Williams penalty, there are some fisticuffs by the Leafs net, and in the end, Mike Bossy was laying on the ice. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him when first watching as I saw it. He was going into the corner alone. He was carried off on a stretcher. Pretty serious stuff here. But they don't have a replay. Seriously, not in today's hockey. They'd have a replay on that for sure. Instantly. So at this point, I have no idea as to what has happened. We're going to get to that though. Because later McFarland says that Bossy was hit in the neck with a stick. It might have been in the head. But in old terms, his bell got rung here. Probably had a concussion. Much like Trottier probably had a concussion earlier in the game too. Later, I like this one. The puck went in the crowd, and McFarland said he hasn't seen people move that fast at the Gardens since Harold Ballard asked somebody to get him a second cup of coffee. That's pretty funny. They show Bossy being wheeled to Wellesley Hospital. They showed a replay, and Jimmy Jones came in and hit Mike Bossy behind the Leaf net. Bossy was fighting for the puck with Randy Carlyle. His back did turn, and Jones hit him from behind. In turn, Bossy's head hit on the boards, so likely, as I said, Mike had a brutal concussion going on here, and Jones got away with one there. He hit him from behind. The period ends and the Leafs are up 5-0. Valakat tells McFarland that once Trottier and Bossy were out of the game, the Islanders really battled them hard. It did not want Toronto to just skate away with an easy victory, as they knew there was going to be a Game 7 at worst. In the third then, Williams had the puck deep and was hit from behind, this time by Jerry Hart. Williams then gets in front of the net, and he and goalie Billy Smith get at it and start a fight. Hilarious to me, as off the top of my head, I can't come up with a Leaf goalie who fought a player. I can't come up with one off the top of my head other than Felix Potvin. I remember him fighting Ron Hextall back in the mid to late 90s. That was a great fight. McFarland mentions Smith had 34 penalty minutes in 26 playoff games. He's a tough guy, and the goalie too. You couldn't get an inch on Billy, no way. The Islanders finally get on the board though, as Clark Gillies drives one in past Palmateer. With less than 4 minutes left, Howard gets in behind the Leafs net and throws a hit on Boutette, then grabs at him, and the two hold on while the refs jump in before the fight starts. Howard gets the exit, and Boutette gets a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. So the Islanders are on the power play, and they get their second goal. As this time Bob Bourne picks the top corner behind Palmateer. Not enough for the Isles in the third, though, as the Leafs took the Game 6 by a 5-2 score. It did seem like everyone was looking towards the big game coming in Long Island. You're up 5-0 after 2, back in the 70s. Yeah. After the game, McFarland and Valaquette shared memories about their series with the Islanders, and Valaquette said that Ballard and Clancy were at the bus congratulating all the players after Game 7. Kind of getting ahead, but I'll be there in a minute. And Palmateer was looking for a new contract. Not signed yet, but he was looking for a new contract. This was his final season under the current contract. After Ballard congratulated him, Palmateer said, "Not bad for 60 grand a year, eh?" So the two teams are headed back to Long Island for the deciding Game 7 to see who will advance to the semifinals. This is big. So Game 7, same goalies. And the referee for the game is someone I remember growing up as a kid, Andy Van Hellemond. Right at the opening draw, we have Daryl Sittler against Brian Trottier. He's wearing a cage, Trottier is. I'm watching CBC broadcast again. Dan Kelly, and once again, Brian McFarland doing the color. Both teams have ramped up their aggression and play for the game. If you don't finish your check, you would probably be stapled to the bench. The Islanders jump out in front when the great Dennis Potvin gets the puck and walks into the top of the slot and beats Palmateer. The action is real good with some nice hard hits as well. An amazing save for the Leafs as Bob Bourne throws one over to Bobby Nystrom, who tries to put the Islanders up by 2, but Palmateer was there to stop the puck. The Islanders then rang one off the post when Dave Lewis fired one to the net from the point. Linesman Claude Bouchard gets a stick in the face from the Leafs' George Ferguson on the draw. Oops. Was he wearing a visor, some may ask? No, he wasn't even wearing a helmet. I think like every other referee and linesman at that time, none of them wore helmets at all. Gladly, though, he recovers and action is started back up. Billy Harris gets a great chance drifting down the right wing towards the Leafs net, but Palmateer stops the puck after Harris tried a backhander. Later, Mike Bossy steals the puck from Randy Carlyle. He comes into Palmateer alone and shoots the puck 5-hole. The puck squeezed through but slid past the net. Carlyle grabbed a penalty, putting the Islanders on the power play. The Islanders looked real good with the man advantage this time, and Trottier drove another one off the post. Late in the power play, Stefan Persson skates to the ref complaining that someone on the Leaf bench grabbed him. On the replay, we see it. Yes, indeed, I can see a man in blue grabbing Persson from the bench. Leafs killed the penalty, got away with the grab, and finished the first period down only 1-0 when the score could have been like 4-0 for the Isles. In the second, Bossy had a dynamite chance in the slot, but Palmateer fired out a pad to stop it, and the puck flew into the corner. Not long after, Trottier was all alone in front. Palmateer was behind the net. Palmateer slid back out front of the net and flung his goal stick out, preventing the Islanders from scoring in what could be like a 6-0 Islanders lead. The Leafs are in it thanks to the goalie, the popcorn kid, and the bells behind him there, the posts. They're helping the Leafs out here. Ian Turnbull tied the game up when Jimmy Jones passed the puck out from behind the net. Turnbull skated in deeper into the zone and drove it past Resch. Mike Kazicki came in towards the net and fired one off either the crossbar or the post. Hey, the replays back then, they weren't crystal clear like they are today, and looked at 85 times and know exactly what happened. Along with some tremendous play by Palmateer, it looks like Lady Luck is golden on this night for the Leafs. Lady Bossy had a golden opportunity in front, but Palmateer slides with double stacked pads out and stops the shot. As McFarland says, there are some warm callers out there as Hart takes on Sittler, who is a few feet from the puck, as Lanny McDonald and Gillies tangle for the puck. This brings both clubs together to talk about some of the finer points of the game. No penalties, though, are handed out. Today, like, everybody get a penalty probably, but not back then. I do enjoy how Van Hellemond is trying to let the two teams decide, if you will, rather than coming down on everybody with penalties. Newer fans might not like that, maybe, but personally I hate it when refs decide the game by handing out penalties. Both clubs are, unless it's a definite penalty. But both clubs are playing extremely hard as hits are being finished and delivered with a bit of gusto. The second period ends tied at 1. A few minutes into the third, Dan Maloney passed the puck to Ron Ellis in the Islanders zone, who fired a hard shot. Resch, though, flipped his glove up, directing the puck into the crowd. Later, the puck is sitting behind the Leafs net, and McDonald drills Bossy into the boards. This hit on Bossy, this time it's clean. In the Leafs zone, Pearson shoots one wide of the net, but it bounces hard off the boards and comes out front to Gillies, who stands all alone. He shovels the puck into the net, but to my eyes, it appears to have gone off the side of the net. Either if Palmateer saved it, or if it went off the side of the net. Either or, it should have been in the back of the net and wasn't. Maloney sends a nice pass over to Sittler, who digs in to get alone on Resch, but Kazicki dives and chops the puck away from Sittler. In today's world, that would be a penalty because Sittler was dumped to the ice. I personally do not think of it as a penalty. I grew up in a time where that wasn't a penalty. Why? Because he hit the puck first. He's going for the puck. I actually remember my dad telling me to do this when I was a kid. And literally the next day, the next game, I did it. And my dad was so proud of me that I was able to get the puck, knocked the player down, but got the puck and didn't get a penalty for it because it wasn't a penalty back then. In turn, the Leafs get some good chances here, but shots by Sittler and Turnbull are kicked out. Ellis got a beautiful chance in front, but Resch may have got a chunk of the puck as it drifted wide of the net. In what turned out to be a fabulous period, the Isles and Leafs are off to overtime again in Game 7. Next goal wins, takes the series. In overtime, of course, the checking is tight. Harris once again had a dynamite chance as he broke in on Palmateer all alone, but Mike was sharp and kicked it aside. Turnbull chipped a pass up to McDonald, and then he rushed in on Resch and snapped one past the Islanders goalie. The Leafs end up winning it 2-1 in overtime and head off to play the ever so talented Montreal Canadiens in the semifinals. On the other side, the Boston Bruins will be playing the Philadelphia Flyers, also in the semis. Now to finish off here, the Leafs beat the Islanders, and on the Islanders side, I hear Islander fans state that Bossy was not at his best here in this series. To answer that, I would say that Bossy did have some absolute great chances each game that I saw, but was not able to capitalize on most of them. He did end up with 2 goals in 7 games, but personally I believe if he could have put a couple of those pucks in the net, Toronto wouldn't have been skating away with the win in this series, I believe. Which comes to the other teams. As the Leafs did well with Turnbull, he got 4 goals, 8 points. Sittler and McDonald, who bagged a couple of goals, including the Game 7 winner. The series MVP, though, without a doubt in my mind, is Mike Palmateer, who's showing me what top-notch goaltending can do, along with some talented forwards and defensemen. This is the best goaltending the Leafs have gotten since 1967 right here, and they're on their way to the 1978 semifinals. And that's this part of the 1978 playoffs. Next video, I'm going to do the Leafs against the Habs in the semifinals and talk about that series. But yes, if you like this video, I appreciate it to hit like or the thumbs up. As well to subscribe, I appreciate that as well. And I've got lots of other videos here as well. Check them out. Check out my page. And if you want to comment on anything, you can do that as well. But here we go. We're going to the semifinals.